So I'm Anthony Ford with Kong Armor, and welcome to the 2022 Kong Armor deck armor season. I told you guys that we were going to get started this year March 1st. Now, weather permitting, we're going to start cleaning a lot of these decks, getting them repaired, and then as weather permits, we'll get them coated. We're pretty quick at it, right? We're going to start this year. We're going to start this year with 3 deck systems. Here's one of them in Mount Airy, and it's the perfect example. It's just an unbelievably great example of the power of Kong Armor. This thick build, high stretch, lifetime deck armor that we have, paired with restoration to bring back severely weathered, sun damaged deck systems, right? So I just took the drone up and got video shots of this deck. We got some good pictures of the checking and its post. Got some good pictures of the frayed wood and the sun damaged boards and all that stuff. And I'll go home and process all that stuff later. But let's take a look at this deck system, and I'll show you guys some of the challenges that exist with it and what we've specified to restore and protect this deck system. So the process that we're going to use here is called deck restoration painting. Of course, with Kong Armor, the lifetime deck armor system. Let's take a look. If I could flip this around. What's up, Jerry? So, standard deck system. It spans the back of this home here in Mount Airy, right? There's some lattice up underneath here, Jerry. That's just on the right side of this deck. Over here, no lattice. They got that open so they can get into the garage, right? So they don't have big huge posts like you got at home, Jerry. But what they do have is they have some standard deck posts, and they have some checking in there. We work with a special epoxy filler called silverback epoxy. This one's not so bad, not as bad as this one. So there's a little bit more checking here. But we work with a special epoxy filler called silverback epoxy. And what we'll do is we'll bring that in and we'll fill all this. We'll fill all this out. I think Julie's in there watching me from the house, right? Same thing here. Hey, Julie. There is a post. There's checking that goes through here. The silverback epoxy, way better than caulk to cure this stuff. It'll cure up harder than concrete once we fill that in through there. And when we get into this process and I show it to you, it'll make a lot more sense. Kind of me talking about it right now, you're kind of like, what's this dude talking about, right? But it's just it's a filler that cures harder than concrete that we stick in there to fill those out. And then once we coat over it, it's almost like that checking was never there. Now, what's sort of unique about this deck system is that it actually has, instead of wood steps, they actually have a concrete steps that go up through here, right? Which is cool. I thought this was cool, right? So, tell you something, when we get up here, that is sort of the reason we're here is because of these old worn out planks, right? There's no coating system on the planet that's as good at resurfacing and filling the cracks, gaps, and voids of these old planks. We can completely resurface this floor and make it look beautiful and gorgeous. Now, there are a couple of these that are going to come out of here. They're just too weathered, right? But we'll figure that out during the washing process. Whatever's left, we're going to absolutely resurface with Kong. And how Kong is valuable is that it can actually get down deep into these cracks and grooves, fill them out, and then will encapsulate over top of all that. So just build it thicker, fill in all these nail heads, get these nail heads covered up really well, and just provide protection like this deck's never seen before, right? One thing that we do with deck restoration painting with Kong armor is we're constantly working with the intent to fill in stuff like this. See how this has never been filled in before? With Kong, it will get filled in, a great deal of it. Now, it's hard to promise somebody to fill in every single hole on their deck, but we'll work with the intent to fill in, to press our coating into stuff like this and fill it in. Another thing that they'll get here with deck restoration painting from Kong, okay, and everybody can get this all March until the end of March. We're going to give them 5 free planks to use here, and we're also going to give them 12 braces. So 12 braces, premium deck braces that they can use. And what we're going to use them for here is to tighten up these rails. Oh yeah, Jerry, it'll make these rails look, gosh man, you want to talk about gorgeous, this will end up being really pretty. Those privacy rails, when we're done, they'll be really pretty. But we're going to bring in those braces and brace this up as much as we can. I've got a strap scheduled for the back side of this, where it bends around here to strap onto the back side of this to pull this privacy fence tighter. There's several repairs that we're going to do here as well. So they're going to get several planks replaced, at least 5. They're going to get at least 5 bad planks replaced. They're going to get braces. They're going to get silverback epoxy, right? Silverback epoxy for all their cracks and knots and just imperfections, right? Really great washing, coating with the intent to fill in cracks, gaps, nails, screws. We're going to set down this type of stuff for them, and then it's real simple. We're going to bring in the world's toughest deck armor here, and we're going to encapsulate this deck. I mean, it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you. This is the first of 3. We're doing 3 decks right now. Very first ones, we're going to start off with a set of 3. This is in Mount Airy. We're going to make this deck. When I'm done with this thing, you guys won't even recognize it. I promise you. I'm Anthony Ford with Kong Armor. Sign up for a free quote. Go right now, kongarmor.com. Check out our website. I'm out of here.